Gwyneth Harrison is not here. She's on her last day of vacation. And so you get the enthusiastic volunteers. And so I'm Joanna Sanfrar, and you will hear from Julie, and you will hear from Jane, and then our big build-up to Walter. So he was only dragged kicking and screaming up to this wonderful moment, and we are thrilled. And we've heard him before. He always has something valuable to say, and so many thanks, Walter. Back in the two-thirds back there is a whole row of wonderful young people, and we say hurrah. Those guys in the back row. And in front, we thank Nancy and Connie and Keith for being the terrific youth leaders, and the kids we're very thankful for. They were here all night, last night, for a lock-in. All their bedding and such is downstairs. When you go down for refreshments, you can spy their lovelies. But they had a wonderful time, I think, and Jane is going to be talking about Wanakee Witness, and she may mention something about the lock-in in the course of that. And one last thing, tomorrow night is the United Methodist Women meeting, and again, open to all women of the church. It's tomorrow evening at 6:30. It will be at Connie's house, 1 Forest, and we always have a wonderful time, and we always learn something from each other and from the scripture. And if you're not quite sure where 1 Forest is, check with Connie. Are there any other announcements that? Oh yes, and if you're coming tomorrow night, every month when the UMW meets, we bring a mission gift for a local women's area. I can't think of the word. Charity, a group that meets locally to support and serve women in need in this immediate area. And this, tomorrow night, are personal care products for Maris Center, which is, if you don't know it, is at where the movie theaters are down in the village of Salisbury. A wonderful program that serves women who have had addiction problems and who are finding their way back to society and to life. And we're very happy to be part of helping those women in this small way. All right, are we all?
I'm in the process of getting these ready. I'll put them up back for anybody that wants.
These are the upper moons. So if you've never tried that, it's a wonderful devotional guide. Great way to either begin or end your day. So, but Glenn, I think you're more in need now of the piano. Yes, but that's only a minute. I'm sure somebody else will take care of that here. All right, in your bulletins, let us join together in the call to worship and rise as you are able. And we will read the call to worship and then sing a hymn from the hymn book, since we don't have AV stuff. We're not fancy when Gwyneth isn't here. All right. I greet you in kindness.
How blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord.
Jesus showed us the paths of kindness, so that we might ease the burdens of the long-suffering and bring hope to those in despair. Kindness comforts the trembling heart. Kindness transforms the non-believer. Therefore, we will walk the paths of kindness, proclaiming Christ in word and deed. And let us join together in using the red hymnal, number 89, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee.
So much to me, I can't probably express it as well as I should. But I have lifelong friends from Wanakee. I started going to Wanakee when my girls were, I believe, 3 and I think you would, no, we wouldn't have been. So 5 and 6, 7. And we did the You and Me plan for several years until they were old enough to go to the next and they felt secure enough to move on without me. But I was always there with them because I did the nurse after that for a week at a time. But it's a great place. You get lots of fellowship. One of my favorite times is after having a meal. You always do songs and prayers. I didn't have to do the dishes. So it is definitely a wonderful time. If you haven't been, it's not just a summer camp. They also have year-round events. One of my favorites is Wild Wanakee Women, which is usually the last weekend in January before Super Bowl. And it's a great time.
So, first of all, I'm going to apologize for my appearance. As my mother said, you don't look like you're ready to speak in front of people today. And I said, whatever. So yeah, we had a lock-in, so like, that's why my mom's just. But, and I've been going there ever since, so that would be 12 years now. So, and like my most favorite memory I think I have is on Thursdays we have celebration, which is like a worship time where we all get together as a whole entire camp, so not just the individual sites, but everyone together gets together and we worship. And we were talking about, you know, just moments that we remember that like we have throughout the year that remind us of Wanakee. And I remember I was pretty young, but it was probably my first full week at camp by myself, and my mom came to get me and I started crying and she was like, oh, did you miss me? And I was like, no, Mom, I'm gonna miss camp. Like, I don't care about you. Like, I just want to stay at camp because that's how great it was. Like, honestly, I still keep in touch. Like, I have friends on Facebook who I went to uni with when I was 4 years old, and like, if I saw them today, it would be like nothing changed. Like, you really do just create friendships there. And I'll catch myself, like, I'll be walking, like, outside, or I'll smell something that reminds me of Wanakee, and you just miss it so much. It's this weird thing, because you go there for a week out of your year, and, I mean, that's like 1 week out of 52 weeks. And that's, like, not a large part of time, but yet it seems to be a huge part of my life. And I hope, like, Emily, she works there, and she worked there last summer, like, I hope I get the opportunity to work there, because I feel like it really positively impacts a lot of kids and gives them the confidence to be who they are and express their faith, and that's what it's done for me, so I kind of want to be that leader in other people's lives, so it's a really great place. It really is.
I'm going to keep mine short and sweet. I've been going to Wanakee since I was 4, and so you're 12, so I'm probably 14. Yeah. 14 years. Wow. I've known Nancy 15 years. So, wow. One thing that I like love the most about Wanakee is we have this thing called Morning Watch, and we have it every single morning of the week. And it's where the staff members put on a little skit and they like talk about a Bible verse or something that happens, and we all just watch it, and we sometimes sing and
Pray.
We pray.
We're all together as a group, one of the few times.
Yeah. Besides all the other meals and stuff, and I like love that morning because even though we're all like so tired and we just want to eat, we're all like joined together in the morning, and it's like one of the best things I love because we're all together and
Great.
yeah, start your day off right. And Wanakee has given me so many friends. I will say a lot of them are my counselors. One of the last year when I went to volunteer, it was extremely weird being on the staff when I had staff members that were my counselors when I was like 7. And so it was extremely weird, and one of them was my co-counselor, and so it was really weird. Yeah. Weird but cool. Hallelujah.
And the other thing I would just like to say, some of you may know this, some of you may not, is thank you to the Merrimack Court United Methodist Church for all of your support over the years, helping these kids go to Wanakee. We have had fundraisers in the past and different things, so thank you so much for all of your support in this endeavor.
And we have scholarship money available.
And there is scholarship money available for this year. Okay, the next thing is our fund, Miss Piggy. And this money goes towards Pepper International. It goes from Easter to Easter. Do we have last year's totals yet? Okay. We have money in there.
It's around $1,000.
I guess I'm not going to take this with me. So does anybody have any birthday pennies? son's birthday.
Okay, Dad and my stepmom.
Dad and stepmom.
My great nephew Kyle and Miriam's mother next week.
Great grandson.
Sixth birthday. Six? All right.
Sorry? Mike's birthday. Okay.
My best friend's birthday Wednesday.
Okay, best friend.
Jane.
Our granddaughter announced her engagement yesterday. Chelsea Mattinson.
Wow. Chelsea Mattinson's engagement. Whatever. Thank you. And next we will do the offering and prayer cards. And Bob is going to some graciously pray for us.
I'm going to play one of my favorite hymns, so it's one of your favorites too. I think you'll recognize it in about 2 notes.
Thank you, Bob. If you could please rise and join me in singing the doxology. Heavenly Father, we thank you for these gifts. May we always give with gladness and with sincerity. Help us to use these gifts to bring others to know your steadfast love. Amen. Now I'm going to read the prayers of praise and prayers. Prayers and praise. Praise and prayers. And we're going to respond with Lord, hear our prayer. And then afterwards, we'll sing a few verses, or a few times over anyways, of Oh Lord, hear, in your black hymnal number 2200. Let's see. Thanks, I don't know who this is from, but thanks to Walter, Len, Bob, Julie, Jane, Joanna, and Pat Casey for making today's service. Lord, hear our prayer. This is prayers from Melissa for the Arrisons as they prepare for the next chapter in their life. Congratulations on the closing of their new home. Lord, hear our prayer. Oh, this is from me. Praise for a meaningful transition workshop in Milford, New Hampshire yesterday. And prayers for an end to the local heroin epidemic. Lord, hear our prayer. I assume this is from Jane or Katie. Prayers for Emily for finals prep week. Yes. Lord, hear our prayer. Let's see. Kat says prayers for everyone going back to school. Oh, that's like vacation week. Yeah. Lord, hear our prayer. David Clark. Let's see. Prayers of thanks that my friends, Pema and Mingma, in Georgie's River, are safe from the earthquakes in Nepal. Prayers for the comfort for those not so fortunate. Yes. Lord, hear our prayer. And David Clark also asked prayers, comfort to my 3 friends and family who have had to say goodbye to their elderly pets. Yes. Lord, hear our prayer. Thank you. Okay, so this is number 2200 in the black number. Amen. Please join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into one spirit in the red hymnal, number 114. Thank you.
Paul's letter to the Colossians, chapter 3, verses 12 through 17. One of the great passages of Scripture. Listen to God's word. As chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourself with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. And over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace. And be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly as you teach and admonish one another with all wisdom. And as you sing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs with gratitude in your heart to God. And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him. Amen.
Good morning, everyone. First off, I want to thank you, Joanna, for your lovely words, and Jane and Julie as well, the 3 J's. And everyone else who took part in bringing this all together. It's an amateur act, but we're all doing a great job. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you for letting me deliver the sermon this morning. I'm a lay speaker, not formally trained in ministry or educated in divinity, and so I have to speak from my own experience and my own journey through the Old Testament and the Gospel. One experience I've had has been talking to people about their own faith journeys, their personal beliefs, and their feelings about Christianity. Now, I could share my own story here and explain the full circle that brought me back to faith, but I think I've done that before. And if anyone wants to hear me really go on, see me later. Today, I'd like to talk about how people see us Christians and their reasons for turning away from our faith and fellowship. I'd like to begin, though, with a disclaimer. First, because what we have here in our church is a great deal different from what people say is broken with Christianity. I really think that we, as a church, are doing so many things right, and that's why we're all here, isn't it? I mean, after all, we live in a free country, don't we? Nobody has to be here, except my kids. So, I've been told by people I've talked with that Christians are bigoted, hypocritical, and judgmental, that the church is a relic of superstitious times, and that the fresh wave of evangelism appeals only to rednecks longing for the past. In a broader sense, I've heard that all religions are flawed and worthless and are the main cause of global strife. All over the world, we've got these old men goading the young to unspeakable acts of terror for the sake of their faiths. Some are even compelled to sacrifice their own lives in order to take the lives of those they consider infidels. It's a cruel and dangerous world out there. You don't need a history lesson from me, just read the news. And let's face it, for most of human history, people of different faiths did not get along well. Some social scientists might argue that religion is the wrapper concealing pragmatic points of contention, like control of resources and domination of geographic regions. In cases where there have been disputes over territory, but the people share a faith, then they splinter the faith. They call the other guys apostates and have at it. So then the social scientists and pundits tell us that we'd be better off without religion because it's just a ruse to get the bumpkins to kill each other like good little pawns on somebody else's chessboard. If we get rid of this bogus wrapper that the holy men have used to blind us, the whole world will shake off the shackles of superstition. And to quote John Lennon, the world will live as one. To me, a secular, unified world is a fantasy. Does anyone really think that by getting rid of religion we'll have utopia? Strong men will never rise up again to exert their power over the masses? Wars will never happen again? People will share everything they have with everyone? There will be no more envy, no more hunger, crime, exploitation, or corruption? Really? I don't think so. Without the strong current of morality, and divine justice that almost all religions foster, God only knows how far we would fall. But I don't think social science is completely wrong. They have shown us how religion has been misused to divide humanity. And now that we see this, we are far better prepared to enable religion to perform one of its most sacred roles. We can let religion unite us. That means that we, as Christians, must do what it takes to look beyond the divisions that have been thrown up around us. These are all false idols. Sometimes they can be hard to overcome. I'm reminded of an Emo Phillips joke. Two men are on a rope bridge when it breaks, and they're each left hanging next to each other, and it's pretty clear that the rope can't hold them for very much longer. And they begin to eye each other. One of these guys has to go. Then they begin to talk as the rope creaks and whines. "So, are you a Christian or a Jew?" says the first. "A Christian," says the second. "Me too," exclaims the first. "Protestant or Catholic?" "Protestant." "Me too." "Baptist, Methodist, Lutheran, or something else?" "Baptist." "Me too." "Eastern Synod or Western Synod?" "Eastern." "Me too." "Convention of 1878 or Convention of 1912? 1912. Die, heathen! She's the guy down. I know that's a little silly, but it shows the walls we put up around ourselves, and it shows us how we can use our faith as a reason to have divisions instead of unity. But Christ never wanted his followers to turn on each other over picayune details. His message is broad and wide-ranging, universal and all-welcoming. Love thy neighbor as thyself. How simple is that? And for me, in our busy rat race world, the easiest way to love thy neighbor, right out of the starting box each and every day, is kindness. Yeah, I may not have the chance to stop and talk to everyone I see on any given day, but I can still hold the door for them. I loved hearing how Katie just randomly removed the snow from someone's car when she was, talking about random acts of kindness over the winter. That's the type of thing we all need to do. I used to work in fast food. One day my friend was on the drive-through shift. A gentleman came through, got his food, paid, got his change, and then handed my friend a $100 bill. I can't tell you what an impression it made on her. And I still remember that, and it was a long time ago. He didn't ask her if she was a Christian or a Jew, Protestant or Catholic, convention or whatever. Christianity really comes to life when we drop all the convention of 1878 stuff and get on with the gospel. When our souls glow with the light of Christ and his true message, we draw people to us in fellowship. They want to be part of this movement. They want fellowship with door openers and snow removers and people who raise them up and welcome them and love them. We're Christians. We're not bigots, hypocrites, religious snobs, back-turners, and we're certainly not perfect, but we are kind. Kindness is the thread that binds us to each other and the world at large. So, if it's a rainy Monday tomorrow, and I think it's supposed to be, and you're hanging around with nothing to do but frown, get out of yourself and do an act or two of kindness, and see how it transforms you and the fellow human being you raise up. Have a great week, everybody. God bless.
Walter, that was right spot on, as they say. And our closing hymn will perfectly reflect the last thing that Walter said. It's pass it on. And so let's do precisely that as we walk out the door and with our fellow Christians. Each use and pass it on. So I think it's 572 and benediction, and let's say it to ourselves and to each other and to the Lord. As we leave this worship place today, let us go in the love of God the Father, through the power of the Holy Spirit, to be the light of Jesus Christ in the world. Amen. And please come downstairs and enjoy the chance to share some conversation.